Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca Klingler. I am currently a student in the nursing program at Weber State, and today I want to discuss with you some important issues that the LGBT community faces every day in our current nation. One issue is the level of violence that affects this community. In 2015, it was found that nearly 1 in 5 hate crimes committed in the U.S. was due to the victim's sexual orientation or gender identity. It has also been found that 33% of people in the LGBT community report being bullied at school within the last year, 27% report being cyberbullied, and 10% have not gone to school for fear of their safety. Lastly, it has been found that 57% of people in this community have been threatened, 51% have been sexually harassed, and 5% have experienced violence. These are all horrifying statistics, and they really show how much violence affects people within the LGBT community. Another issue that affects this community is mental health concerns. As you can see by the picture on the left, it has been found that nearly 40% of lesbian, gay, or bisexual people report having a mental illness. It has been found that LGBT teens are 6 times more likely to experience depression, twice as likely to feel suicidal, and 4 times more likely to commit suicide than their heterosexual peers. This issue disproportionately affects this group and could be due to the fact that this group is so widely unaccepted in the current society, which can lead to these poor mental health outcomes. Another issue that widely affects this group is discrimination in the areas of parenting, employment, and housing. Currently, only a few states have established into law the rights of gay couples to parent together. And in fact, a few states have even legally allowed adoption agencies to deny adoptions to same-sex couples because of their sexual orientation. There have also been situations where children have been taken away from safe and loving parents simply due to the fact that they are gay. There are also issues in the areas of employment and housing. Most states do not have legislation to protect LGBT people, which means employers and landlords can deny housing or jobs to people simply for their gender identity or sexual orientation. It has been found that 59% of LGBT people feel that they have fewer employment opportunities, 58% believe they are paid less than non-LGBT people. Employment and housing should be based on job performance and human character, not sexual orientation, but unfortunately, this is not currently the case in the United States. Another issue that affects this group is unequal healthcare opportunities. In a recent survey of LGBT people, more than half reported that they have faced cases of healthcare providers denying care, using harsh language, or blaming the patient's sexual orientation as the cause for an illness. It was also found that 42% of LGBT patients have reported being mistreated by healthcare providers, and 14% of people in the LGBT community report postponing needed medical care because of past experiences of discrimination from healthcare staff. This group also faces issues in the area of criminal justice. This group has a high rate of discrimination in prison, and a lot of them are put into solitary confinement allegedly for their own protection. There is also twice the amount of LGBT people in the prison population than there are in the general population, 8% versus 4%, which suggests that this population is overrepresented in prisons. One of the largest things that affects the LGBT community is the lack of acceptance. Many heterosexual people carry a negative attitude towards homosexuality, and most heterosexual parents want their children to also be heterosexual. Because of these internal biases, a parent may react negatively to a child in many ways. This can range from anxiety about the child's well-being in future, all the way to abuse and even kicking the child out of the home. This lack of support can lead to an unhealthy self-image and may cause LGBT people to form unhealthy relationships in the future. Some parents will even go as far as enrolling their child in conversion therapy in order to make them straight. This is a very harmful practice that the American Psychological Association has condemned. However, only 8 states have banned the practice of this therapy. On the left, there's a picture of ways that LGBT parents can support their children. So what can we do to help? The best way we can help this group is by changing the way society views them, and that starts with each individual person confronting their own personal biases. We can support this group by being an ally. We need to be willing to talk and listen, be open-minded and inclusive. Don't assume that everyone is straight. Someone close to you may be looking for support in order to come out. Not making assumptions can give them the space they need to come out successfully. We also need to refrain from using harmful language and let others know that we do not approve of them using harmful language either. We also need to confront our own internalized biases and confront them even if this process is uncomfortable. The last thing we can do is defend LGBT people and truly believe that every human being deserves to be treated with equal dignity and respect. On this page, I have listed several different resources in Utah in order to learn more about this group and some of the best ways to support them. And these are the references I used in this PowerPoint. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope that we can all join together in the fight for equality in our country.